Mail time. Starting off with the smaller ones, we've got some cable straps. Some little Velcro cable straps just to keep things tidy. I like keeping my cables tidy, as well as this rocker switch for the second Go-Kart. So this will be that little hidden kill switch that will be installed into Go-Kart number 2. This is the battery control unit for Go-Kart number 2. So it's got 5 12-volt deep cycle gel batteries. So they'll be connected to this, and this little box will make sure that all of the batteries stay the same voltage. So there isn't one that is heavily undercharged and one that is heavily overcharged. Just keeping the battery health in mind and making sure that it stays safe and easy to ride. Little package number 3 is the little display to indicate how much battery is left. It gives the voltage as well as a little battery with bars in it. It was cheaper to get 5 than it was to get a single one. I think a single one was like $2 and 5 of them was $5. So I've got spares. And it works from any voltage from, I think, 8 volts to 80 volts. Sorry, 6 volts to a 72 volt battery pack. So it'll handle up to, I think, 84 or 88. This box, I think I know what's in it. Look at that. This is, in fact, hopefully the correct size rim for Go-Kart number 2. So, well, it's not just one, there's 2 of them. So now that I've got both of these rims, I can do a test fit to make sure that they fit the Go-Kart properly, fingers crossed, and then I gotta figure out where, who, and how to get some tires on these for cheap. Before even putting this on, I have noticed a small issue. There isn't going to be anything to stop this from going all the way through, which became very apparent as I got here and was setting up the camera. But, is this the cut side? No, it's not even the cut side. Let's see, this groove is very tight here. Okay, so this, yeah, so that's good. That part's all good, but there's nothing stopping this from just keeping on going. Now, my first thought is to just weld like a washer in place so that it can't go back any further. But I don't want to really damage the axle, and I don't really know how to weld. Let's get a tire on this first and then figure out the difficult problem of making sure it doesn't go back too far up the shaft. So if I put that back to there, oh, that's still sticking out that far. So I don't want it to go any further back than that. Gone. It's up to there. Well, I've marked the same point on both sides. I'm not 100% sure on what the solution is going to be, but it's probably going to be a massive washer put in place and probably just weld it there. I'm sure it'll hold. I don't know how to weld. I should probably figure out how to weld.
So what's the best time for you?
In the previous video, I had a small crash. Oh,
You okay?
yeah, I'm good. Of course, I almost break it right in time for the second one to be started being put together. That little crash was hard enough to, well, it has done some damage. It's bent. There's a thick piece of metal here and maybe the bolt. And it's also bent the other side a little bit. So I'm Just gonna have to do the general maintenance thing, pull it apart, straighten it out, put it back together, and hopefully that's all I need to do. So this is pretty much the whole steering system has been removed, and as you can see, these parts aren't very straight, though all of them are supposed to be dead straight. So I'm gonna have to spend some time whacking them, and let's try straightening everything up, from the little armature connector bits to the parts the wheels go on, to even the shaft for the steering wheel. I wish I knew the names of those off the top of my head, but I'm more focused on getting the job done right now and figuring out names. Of course, for this, I decided that the best method was with a hammer, but I quickly realized this threaded stuff does not fare well to being whacked with a hammer. Up next, I needed to straighten out the left and right spindle axle, specifically the part that attaches to the tie rod. Then it's time to see if I can straighten out the main steering shaft at all, but with all the effort I put into it, I just ended up hurting my finger a little bit and didn't get much of a result out of it. With the threads on the tie rods completely crushed from whacking it with a hammer, I decided I would simply just go and purchase some more. Stopping in at the local hardware store, I eye up a piece that looks about the same, so I test it out with a nut that I brought along with me and made my purchase. I seem to be quite a regular now at the old hammer barn. So I should be able to quickly just cut this up into 2 appropriately lengthed pieces. I might as well just measure it up so they're the exact same size as the original, rather than trying to do some guesswork. Measuring them out and cutting them to size, I now have 2 brand new steering rods. Next, I can put the nuts and the ball joints back on so they are ready to be refitted. Then I'll put a fresh coat of paint on the left and right spindle axle, as well as a little bit on the main steering shaft. With all the repairs complete and the paint dried, it's time to put it all back together. With everything back in place, of course, cleaning is a must. Giving everything a nice little wipe down before it's all put back together and ready to take it out on a little drive. Well, it seems that this is working perfectly, as it always does. Feels great. Steering's a little stiffer than usual, but I can make some adjustments there to make that a little more comfortable. I also tightened up the brakes a little bit, so I was able to do a couple little skids just to make sure that they're working. That said, I can feel the brakes wear out quite quickly, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'll just have to make sure that I order in some new brake pads. for this one as well as the other one. One thing I did notice though is the camber on the front wheels. They're a little, but yeah. I'll put it on the list. I'll deal with that next time. Also when I straighten up the steering column, which honestly actually feels a lot straighter than it was. So it's doing mighty well. On charge now, because the batteries were kind of flat before. So this is about to become blatantly obvious. But I don't know what I'm doing. Well, I brought a welder anyway. It's secondhand, it looks pretty good, and I'm sure it is. So I've gone and purchased this SIG weld. It is a Weld Skill 135 MIG welder. I knew that I wanted to go for a MIG welder, but admittedly, I don't really know what I'm doing with a welder. I've never really welded before, but with all my projects and stuff that I've been doing, I keep finding that I need to work with something a little stronger than wood, a little more durable than plastic. And the next step up is obviously a welder. Now, I've watched a number of TV shows where people have done welding. So I picked up some scrap metal I found laying around at work, and I'm just gonna give it a go, really. What's the worst that could happen? It's just it's like a soldering iron, right? I solder wires all the time. And I use hot glue. It's not much different than that, is it?
Let the good times roll with the one.
So I've put my gloves on, I've got my helmet on, and it's time to just start. Let's be honest. I really don't know what I'm doing. To be honest here, I probably should be using some sort of gas or something to help the weld work.
I can see this has been welded before, so this is definitely a weldable material.
Well, clearly I don't know what I'm doing. But I've taken the first step in learning. I've made a start. And that's all that really matters to me. And with that, let's pack it up and clean up. Mail time. This time I decided to save up the mail throughout the week, so I've just got one opening. Package in a package, of course. In the first package, I've got two of these GoPro front lens covers because in previous videos I've completely destroyed my GoPros, as well as this. It's an IEC 14, there we go. So we've got an IEC 14 to C5 adapter, so the clover, and I've got that part there. That's just because at work the trucks we have the male end of that rather than a normal plug socket because reasons. So I can plug that into my laptop charger. Just saves me having to use an adapter, which adds an extra couple meters to the whole run and just makes all the cables all messy. Package 2 includes that teeth whitening stuff. It's purple, which negates the yellow. Of course, a package in a package. First up is a package in a package in a package, but also one of these little magnet things for the dishwasher so that I can indicate when it's clean or dirty. As well as some Velcro strip things to help keep cables nice and tidy, and this HDMI splitter, 1 in with 4 out. I had an idea one night. I thought it would be quite useful. Then I couldn't find my long HDMI leads, so this idea's on the back burner. I'm just going to have to buy some long HDMI leads for this specific use. What's that use? Well, I just want to put a few screens around in the garage so that I can have one signal going in and it be the same on those 3 screens. It's both for workout and content creation. Sometimes I need to see a screen and what's on it. and I need to be able to turn around and still see it without having to go in and adjust it. Package number 5. There's a package in a package, of course, again. So it contains this HD USB capture card, as well as some more Velcro strips to go on cables, and another USB HDMI video capture card. Why did I get 2 completely different ones? Oh. Package number 6. Now, this is specifically for the Go-Kart. This is a hydraulic brake. Ooh, look at the size of the brake pads on that. The current brakes that are on the Go-Kart are made for bikes and scooters. So when you're slamming those brakes on and using them a lot, you just end up wearing them down really quickly. And I don't want to get stuck in the cycle of buying new brakes every month or so. So I went and I purchased this. It was $30. I believe it is second hand. I hope that's not on that angle because it's broken. Well, yeah, I hope it works. I hope. Oh yeah, it's full of the greasy stuff, and my hand's a little dirty. This contains servos. I purchased these headphones for a friend. There's nothing really that special about them. The specifications works with the FM radio and is as cheap as humanly possible. And well, they were very cheap to the point where they use micro-B to charge, and it's not turning on. Oh, here we go, it's on. FM radio. That sounds like the FM radio. Okay, it's got some really slow seeking. So if I hold it down, you can see it's seeking through. But it does have a headphone jack input. I wouldn't say these are high quality, but you can sure as hell hear the noise coming in, which I think is the main point in this sort of thing. Pushing this button just resets it back to the lowest number. So if you have a radio station up in the high numbers, this is not the headset for you. At least they fold up. Alright, I'm going to do a quick test fit with this go-kart that's sitting here just to see if this brake caliper is big enough to... Yeah, I would say this seems to fit. And then if I cut this zip tie, put that stuff on the ground. So the biggest problem here is I don't know if this is a push or a pull. Okay, it's a push. And that's a lot of pressure I got to put on it. But... close enough. It's time to test out this cart with a trailer. Perfect. With the trailer tested and connected, we're able to stack up equipment and get rolling. With the kit together and set up at the park, it's time to drive. You made it. Now, one key thing that I'm going to have to do is I've got to get the tires off of these 2 old wheels that I have and then put those tires on the new rims, which are visually the same size. And, well, that is how this video is going to have to end.